Elliott Machine has been in business for quite a number of years, I think from back in the 40s. It's now in the third generation, with Dick following his father, and then his son's now following Dick. And I've seen the company over the last few years do a lot of growth. They put on new buildings to get more room so they could do larger platforms of their equipment, new location, and I think more cranes and things inside. I've seen some amazing things they've done.
I just had a normal childhood, I guess, but I did spend time on the farm and like that, and I learned how to stack hay and learned how to drive a truck when I was about 12 years old. And my dad was gone all the time. He was a traveling salesman. He was sales manager of Hercules. He started the business in 1948. He started a company called Simco, and the prime product was the mobile machine shop. My junior year in high school, we went to Wichita, Kansas, because we were working on some high-reach units that would decontaminate B-52s. We met the head engineer at that particular division, and he asked me, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'd probably be an engineer, I guess. He says, there's one thing I'll tell you. Every one of these engineers is working on a little tiny project of a great big plane. And he says, they don't even see what the end item is or where their item goes. And he says, that's what you get if you're going to be an engineer in a big company. So I decided right then I was going to be maybe an engineer, but I was going to be in a little company.
Being a custom shop, you never know which truck's going to come in or how it's going to be equipped, and you're constantly looking at ways to foresee down the road what needs to be improved on it as far as location of items on there.
They have a lot of engineering that goes into this. It's their designs and their abilities have let them make whatever the customer requires to work for them.
There's a lot of uniqueness to each unit and how it's built, and it's interesting probably to him, and what's fascinating to him is it starts out as a concept or an idea, and then it's taken and there's a set of drawings and specs, and then components are purchased, steel's purchased and bent and formed, and that whole process from A to Z is probably what makes him make that statement that it's an artist's rendition.
Dick's been in the business a long time, and he made inroads into some of these companies, and over the years he's stayed in touch, and as the people he talked with retired, they pass that to their subsequent employees. That Dick Ekin is the man to go to, the one you want to talk to.
He's very good at solving a production problem because of a weakness or a missed component, and solving that problem on the floor as he's observing it. He can visualize a solution and then have a direction to get that corrected without going back to engineering, which would be lost time and lost money, and it just saves so much time. And he's been able to do that through the years so many times. It just amazes me that he has that ability.
He is very, very service oriented. When we switched to a new telephone system with answering machine built into it, he's very adamant that you don't leave the office with a message on your phone. You get right back to the customer or whomever.
Every unit that was done, when it was ready to go to the customer, he'd grab his camera up and get outside, and I'd have to park the truck at a certain angle, and the sun would have to be coming in at a certain way. No house could be in the way. But that was his way. He could take one last look and make sure that every detail was covered.
We don't revolutionize anything, it's an evolution. I look back at what we've done in the past and what we're doing now, and it's never been, we can't do that. It's let's see what we can do, let's look into it, and let's learn. And that's very important in this business.
I know Dick's very active in a lot of community service projects and things, but I think Dick does a lot of good things that's never really told, and he doesn't want them told. And I think a lot of people appreciate it without him saying something. He's been on the hospital board for a number of years. Chamber of Commerce, he's very active in that. We go to the same church, and he's been very involved in fundraising.
He was the chairman of the United Way, and I was on one of the committees. And I remember how dedicated to meeting the goal, and how he cared so much about the community and what the United Way could do for the community, and how much he wanted it to be a success.
The schools, church, 4-H, those things there. He just wants everybody to have a chance, you know. So he's always there to help. You know, really nice man.
He likes being in Galleon. He's always taught Brad and I to try to get involved with the community, because that's what keeps it going and keeps it strong. And it would have been easy when we were thinking about moving, when we moved out to this location, to move someplace else, but he wouldn't have it. I mean, he was definite about staying in the area.
I've went through the plant quite a number of times and can see how handy it is, the way they have it laid out, and the size of the equipment, how well it fits in the buildings. And you marvel at the size of some of these pieces of equipment, some of the large Caterpillar equipment and so forth. But they make their own tanks here, which is quite an art in itself. He has a lot of craftsmen.
It's nice to take those younger people and move them along and teach them a new skill. So they may be a general laborer to start out with, but you know, down the road they might be a welder or work on a brake press, and, you know, through training right here at the shop.
One thing I learned real quick, and I think, is being responsible for a company. You can do a lot of things, but you can't miss a payroll. Those people depend on that.
I mean, he knows every one of us. He knows our families, and likewise, we know Dick. We know his family. And his door is always open. Has always been open. He's helped people who needed help outside the company.
You know, he shows his appreciation to everybody, and he always has. Whether it be a picnic, or he loves to cook out for us. He'll sit down and eat lunch with everybody, and yeah, it's a family to him, and he'll tell them it's a family.
The success is not Dick Ekin. The success is the people that you've talked to and have been part of our company. The greatest success probably goes to my wife, Sandy. She raised 5 kids. I worked 16, 18 hours a day there when they were just little tots. She was there when probably some of those nights I'd say the heck with it. No, Sandy was, she's special.
She's very supportive. She's always been there to help Dick and support him, and they have a wonderful relationship.
It's nice being with the family business with Brad, and that was one of Dad's enjoyments, was to see both of us come back and work alongside him. You know, and that I appreciated that too.
We can have a professional disagreement or issue, and yet after that's resolved or done, at the end of the day, it's on to a family type thing, and which could be a problem too, but it's handled completely different.
I think if Dad was alive today, if he came back and saw what has happened, he started this. He did it. And I think if he came back and saw this building and the boys working like they are, it'd have to be special to him too.
I'm very optimistic. There have been a lot of companies in this area that have come and gone, and at one time they were all very strong companies, very family-oriented, and as they were absorbed into larger corporations, it became more of a business decision how the company operated. But I can see Elliott Machine Works continuing on in the format that we have now, way beyond my time, Dick's time, and Brad and Brent's time.
I enjoy the community, I enjoy the company, I enjoy the work, but my reward is in the success that we obtain something and get something done. Some people do things because they may want more money, but I've enjoyed everything I've done, and I've kind of enjoyed the life I've had, and I've been pretty fortunate. If you're going to get into business, and because it's going to be tough, you're going to have to do things that are beyond the norm, and if you don't enjoy it, then you're banking up the wrong tree.